I'd like to introduce myself. My name is Amanda Fisher. I am a Qantas intern and I'm the next speaker for the night. So I'm humbled to have the opportunity to be able to share my story with you all, and I hope that you enjoy hearing about my internship as much as I have enjoyed doing it. I'm really excited to be here tonight because I have a really important message to share with you all. I'm from Blacktown in Western Sydney. My mother is Aboriginal and my father is English. I'm extremely proud of what I like to think of it as my enriched heritage. I come from a blue-collar family and am the youngest of 3 children. In 2011, straight after high school, I started a Bachelor of Arts in Communication, majoring in journalism at the University of Technology, Sydney. My university degree so far has been the hardest mountain I've had to climb. But in May this year, I will become the first person in my family to get a degree. Thank you. I'm currently doing my internship at Qantas in the internal communication team of the engineering department. In the beginning, I was extremely hesitant to do an internship at Qantas because I didn't see how I could fit into a corporate organisation with a journalism degree. There is a whole industry that I didn't even know about, and I nearly cut myself off purely because it was what I thought I didn't want to do. But this experience has undoubtedly been the most enriching experience of my life so far, and for that I am grateful. If there is any message that I'd like to just one student to take away from my experience, it is to give every opportunity a go. You never know where opportunities will take you, and if you find out it's not for you, push yourself to gain the skills. Push yourself to be versatile, and push yourself to be the best. At my internship, I have done so many things, but I mainly have been working on a project where I create videos about the smaller ports in Australia to go on Qantas's intranet for employees to see. In turn, this meant that I had to travel around Australia to video interview engineers and get footage. There is no one more excited about my internship than my mum and dad. My dad has this thing where whenever someone goes away from Sydney, even if it was just to somewhere like Newcastle, he asks them to bring him a t-shirt. If you ever see my dad, don't tell him you're going away because he will ask you to bring him one. He's got the best collection of tacky t-shirts. I reckon he has about 25 in his collection. It was so embarrassing a few years ago, he actually asked our doctor to bring him one back from Malaysia. Actually, no, I think the most embarrassing one was when we were in the city and he was wearing a Sydney t-shirt like we were tourists. He acts like it's because he likes souvenirs, but really it's because he doesn't like paying for t-shirts. Although in most of the places I went, I didn't leave the airport, I still made sure that I got my dad a tacky t-shirt at every place I went to. So my dad now has t-shirts from Cairns, Townsville, Canberra, Adelaide, Alice Springs and Perth. And that was all from my first 7 weeks as a Qantas intern. During my internship, I volunteered to participate in a flight simulation and got a small model aircraft and a Qantas hat as a thank you. The airplane now sits on top of my dad's desk at home, and the hat sits on top of my dad's head. Just in case someone asks him, so we can brag about his daughter. You don't need to clap every time I cry. If you saw my dad and asked him where he got the hat, he'd say, "Oh yeah, my daughter works there. They've flown her around the world, you know, business class." My mum and dad have said to me, "Make sure you get an education," but I didn't realise how much me getting an education would impact my family so positively. The next thing I'm going to say, I think all of the managers in the room should probably block their interns' ears because it's pretty amazing. So just when you and I both thought my internship couldn't have gotten any more amazing, one of my managers texted me about halfway through my winter placement last year. She was asking if I had a passport. Thankfully I did, because 4 days later I was flying to Los Angeles to do some filming for our LA Family Open Day. I can remember being at the airport on the Friday morning and knowing that there was a chance that I was not going to get on the flight because of the limited seats available for the amount of staff travelling. I can remember thinking, I will sit with the luggage if it will get me to LA, because I have to get my dad his tacky t-shirt. Someone was definitely looking over me, because not only did I get on the flight, I actually got a business seat. I never want to go back to economy. However, you can take the girl out of Blacktown, but you can't take Blacktown out of the girl. When I got to my seat, I remember seeing this amazing document next to this businessman. I assumed it was his annual report because it just looked so beautiful. About 45 minutes into the flight, I saw one next to me and decided to pick it up and have a read. That's when I realised it was the food menu. I ordered something that I'd never heard of before because I heard someone else say it, but when I got it all, I could think, man, I really could do with a meat pie right now. My internship at Qantas has allowed me to put my university degree to practice. I've been able to expand on and gain so many skills. But I also feel that not only have I learnt so many things, I've been able to contribute to Qantas as an individual as well. All of my life, I've struggled with my identity, purely because of my skin colour. It's gotten easier over the years, and I'm sure there are a lot of people in this room who feel the same way I do. When someone asks me about my internship, it always comes back to CareerTrackers as a program, as an Indigenous program, and a lot of the time the fact that I don't look Aboriginal. But if there's something I want to achieve in life, it is to show people that we come in all different shapes, sizes and colours. I'm so proud of my heritage, and this is something I feel so strongly about. And if just one person remembers that being Indigenous isn't something that is defined by someone's skin colour, I will feel like I have done my small part for my people. Being part of the CareerTrackers community and being able to see that there are so many Indigenous students that are just like me has allowed me to feel comfortable in my skin, so much so that I was contemplating doing a thesis on this topic at university. If there is anything that I can pass on to my fellow CareerTracker students, it is to dip your fingers in as many pies as possible. If there is an opportunity to do something at your internship, do it. Even if it's something you don't think you'll want to do. Just do it. We are all in positions that I dare say hold us higher than the rest of the people in our university degrees. So get ahead while you can, make like a sponge and soak everything in. The other thing is, finish your degree. And believe me, I know how hard it is. I nearly quit my degree so many times, but just stick with it. To wrap up, I just have one last thing that I'd like to share with you. In my final year of uni, I did a research project into identity, and I was fortunate enough to speak with an Aboriginal elder, and what she said has stayed with me. She said, if you ask 6 Australians what does it mean to be Australian, you'd get 7 different answers. But somehow we're supposed to be able to define it for the purposes of being able to prove that we're authentic. Whatever your culture is, whatever your heritage, and whatever connection you have to land, you are what you feel you are. Not what society dictates that you are. As the Warumpi band sing, black fella, white fella, it doesn't matter what your colour, as long as you're a true fella, as long as you're a real fella. I'd like to take this opportunity to thank all of the corporate partners for taking an invested interest in the future of Indigenous Australians across Australia. My Qantas manager, Leanne Colomer, for being an amazing mentor. My student advisor, Jamie Hagan, for being my support network and my go-to guy. And to the rest of the CareerTrackers team that we students never get to see, for supporting us in ways that we can never begin to understand. The biggest thank you goes to my mum. She is my rock, my role model, and my best friend. Together, you all make it possible for students like myself to aim higher than I ever thought imaginable. Now, that was where my speech was going to end, but when I get this under control, I just thought I'd like to share with you that yesterday I found out that I gained a position at Coca-Cola in the graduate program. So I'd just like to finish my speech saying that there's nothing better than coming home from a day at Qantas than drinking a cold can of Coca-Cola. Thank you.